Looking back on his childhood, Ryan Forbes remembers his father's struggle with alcoholism, the emotional and physical abuse he endured at home, and the fear he felt that led him to a life of running.
I recall kind of hiding a lot, whether it was just hiding behind some persona of humor that I made up, or literally hiding under furniture. Run away from my house. I would be outside till all hours because I didn't feel safe and I didn't want to be at home.
As a teenager, drugs, alcohol, and partying became his release. He eventually dropped out of high school. In 2001, on the night he would have graduated, he was arrested for driving under the influence at the age of 18. Soon after, he received his first felony charge for stealing a motorcycle. While out on bail, he was at an underage drinking party when a fight broke out, and police were called to the scene. It was his first of many arrests by Officer Wendell Metzler.
I saw him hiding behind a bush.
And I ended up running from him and getting into a fight with him and assaulting him. So I got a felony aggravated assault on a police officer.
If there was trouble, he was usually the guy behind it.
In 2002, Ryan was arrested several times for disorderly conduct, fighting, and marijuana possession. Then in 2003, he served time for driving under the influence and leading police on a high-speed chase. Surrounded by chaos, he felt empty inside.
One of the major things that I felt I was missing out on was love, but not just love as an abstract idea, but love in the sense of, a loving father.
Ryan remembered saying the salvation prayer and asking Jesus into his heart when he was a little boy. During his prison sentences, he would reconnect with God, but he'd return to his old ways.
In that place where I didn't feel any value, in a prison cell, God continued to faithfully reach out to me and love on me. And eventually something started to change inside, and I realized that I was valuable and that I was worth something to him. When I was released, I found myself caught up with the old friends, people, places, and things. I didn't have a church family yet, and I wound up back on drugs.
In 2004, he faced off with Officer Wendell again and rammed his police car during a high-speed chase. He was arrested and sentenced to a year in prison. After being released, he binged on cocaine and prescription pills for 6 months.
I remember thinking, I have no hope at all for a better life. I have no hope of ever owning a home, ever having a family, ever having children, and I really felt like taking my life.
Ryan was alone and crying when a familiar presence surrounded him.
Where I felt the love of God enter in and capture my heart. I felt totally valued and loved and held, and that's when I knew, like, okay, God, you got me. I've tried so many ways to do it myself, but I'm going to let you do it, and I surrendered to him.
He called his probation officer, confessed about his drug use, and began a Christian transition program. Ryan stopped running and began to right his wrongs, starting with Officer Wendell.
And he was willing to talk to me, and I just took responsibility for my actions and apologized.
The power of forgiveness, it exists, and if you're at odds with someone and you let that fester, you could be missing out on one of the best opportunities of your life.
Wendell began inviting Ryan over for dinner with his family, and today, the two have a special bond.
My relationship with Wendell is awesome. He's one of my best friends. So he was the best man at my wedding. We hang out often. We encourage one another. We call one another. We pray for one another. That's my brother.
Ryan and Wendell share their story through speaking engagements and their book, Unchained.
One thing it's taught me is every life is redeemable. We had kind of predicted that Ryan wouldn't be alive by age 23 because of the lifestyle that he was living. And to become the man that he is today, fixing the cycle in his family where he's a good father now, a good husband, it's just remarkable.
He's earned 2 bachelor degrees and works at the prison where he once served time. Ryan found the love he was searching for and gained more than he ever expected.
The wonderful, wonderful life that God has blessed me with, that he has given me, his grace and his mercy. I get emotional because he's a good, good father, and his character is good, and he loves his son. and I'm happy that he does.